Cold cases unable to be solved, missing people unable to be found, human remains unable to be identified for decades.
Now imagine those cases all have answers. Answers that come from using forensic investigative genetic genealogy. It's helped to identify missing people and catch criminals across the country.
Investigative reporter Kristin Crowley shows us the impact this technology is having in solving yesterday's mysteries and today's crimes.
Across the country, hundreds of thousands of people are missing. For 40 years, Jack Langeneckert,
Very handsome man, loved the good life, dressed impeccably.
was one of those people.
At the time, we thought that he probably ran away somewhere. We never did hear from him.
Russ Marty is Jack's nephew. Now in his 70s, he was much younger the last time he saw Jack in 1982.
What do you remember from the day that Jack disappeared?
I remember my mom and my grandma going absolutely bonkers. I mean, they were really upset. They were more upset the second day when they found out that he had emptied out my grandmother's bank account.
Thousands of dollars in stocks and bonds gone. The only thing investigators ever found was Jack's car, abandoned at St. Louis Lambert Airport. He was reported missing, but as the years dragged on without a trace of the 50-year-old realtor, the family stopped talking about Jack.
The family was very mad at him.
Your uncle's sisters and his mother died thinking
Yes.
he was still out there.
Thinking that he was missing.
Then, in 2023, Russ got a call from detectives. They wanted his DNA to test against some human remains.
Those decades-old unidentified human remains cases are what we specialize in.
In 2022, the Lincoln County, Missouri Sheriff's Office sent the unknown remains to Southeast Missouri State University anthropology professor Jennifer Bankston and her students, relying on them to extract viable DNA for testing.
My students' testing indicated that we had some really good candidate bone samples to send off to the lab that we love to work with, Othram in Texas.
Othram is a leader in what's known as forensic investigative genetic genealogy, or FIG. Bankston says Othram's technology can look at tens of thousands of markers on a genome, far beyond the capabilities of traditional DNA testing. Othram has used FIG to solve all of these cases, giving names to men and women, even children, across the country.
So here's how it works. A person uploads their DNA to a website like DNA Solves, GEDmatch, or Family Tree DNA for investigative purposes. Those companies then upload the unknown DNA and try to find the closest match. Typically, that's a third cousin, and genealogy experts say the average American has 190 third cousins. They have to whittle it down, and they do that by breaking them off into family trees, trying to find the closest living relative. The closer relationship you have, the more DNA you share. They're looking for a sibling or a parent, and if they think they found one, they reach out to them, asking them for their DNA to see if it's a match. What was your reaction when you got the DNA results back?
I knew it was him. I was totally convinced that that was my uncle that they found.
It turns out Jack never got on a plane. He never even left the state. In 1984, 2 years after his disappearance, his body was found in an old farm building in rural Missouri, just 1 hour from his home. His body was so badly decomposed, detectives couldn't determine who he was. His identity likely would have remained a mystery were it not for cutting-edge technology.
Your family felt closure in one respect of knowing now that Jack didn't just up and abandon his family.
Right, they felt better about that.
But there's more to this story.
Right.
The mystery of where Jack was finally solved, but there was another mystery, a much more sinister one. Jack was murdered shot in the back of the head.
What would it have done to your grandmother to know that he was murdered?
She would have been very sad, but it would have given her some closure to the whole situation.
The question now is, who killed him? And the answer could once again lie with Fig.
The introduction of Fig has really rocked the industry and created not a new tool to replace traditional forensic DNA analysis, but a new tool to enhance traditional forensic DNA analysis.
Dr. Claire Glynn is a professor of forensic science at the University of New Haven, who also consults with law enforcement agencies across the U.S. and helps them utilize Fig. She says it's having success beyond identifying remains.
It's a tool that's still pretty much in its infancy, yet it's helped resolve over nearly 600 cases in just a 5-year period.
Cases like the murder of Sarah Yarbrough.
When we got there, that was when they told us that her body had been found.
The 16-year-old was found raped and murdered in 1991. Genetic genealogy helped lead to the arrest and first-degree murder conviction of her killer, Patrick Nicholas, in 2023. The hope is Fig will help solve many more cold and open cases.
We don't really ever think of Fig cases as being unsolvable.
Including the case of who murdered Jack Langeneckert.
They found me, so who knows? Maybe they'd be able to find him.
Researchers want to stress if you use Ancestry DNA or 23andMe, they cannot access these databases for Fig. You have to upload your DNA profile voluntarily to sites like GEDmatch and Family Tree DNA, which investigators can access, leading them to solve these mysteries.